West Ham United versus Liverpool. A big game now. A game that West Ham have. I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp won't be exactly relishing now, considering the fact West Ham are in very good form and going into this on the back of a 4-0 win over Bournemouth, and a couple of good results prior to that. Riley, what's your first thoughts about this game? Is one you looking forward to?
A couple of weeks ago, probably not. But despite Liverpool's really good run in form, I'd say I am looking forward to it, Mark. If it's a game that we're going to adopt the same philosophy we did for the Arsenal game and just attack. And if we lose, we lose, especially considering the fact that we just got 4 bonus points essentially from the Bournemouth game, in the sense that we got a 4-goal cushion on the goal difference. If we go out and try and win the game and lose 4-0 to Liverpool, then it is what it is. Our goal difference was good already and it's improved through Bournemouth. So for me, I just think we need to go out there and attack them. And I think it'll be a really good game, especially under the floodlights of the London Stadium. We always seem to have a nice little vibey atmosphere. But I'm looking forward to it, mate. Could be the first time in a while we actually get one over on Liverpool.
Yeah, I feel like you. I'm optimistic. I was feeling optimistic about Sunday against Bournemouth, and I'm feeling this way about Liverpool now. I genuinely believe that we've got a very good chance here of beating them. They've not been very good this season, Liverpool. I'm not quite sure what's happened at that club. I know that they've had a fair few changes in personnel. Obviously, Mane was a big loss. Didn't really replace him. I think they felt the pain of that this season, but they really have struggled for consistency. They're very hard to judge when they're going to be. I think they beat Man United 9-0 or 8-0, whatever it was, and then they put up performances like that, and then you see them in other games. They look very, very average. They don't look a team that's very confident, which I think we could take advantage of because we certainly are. I mean, and one thing was quite interesting: Jurgen Klopp's comments after the Forest result. They beat Nottingham Forest 3-2, which again doesn't scream a team that's flying at the moment. So, Forest are down rock bottom. You'd expect Liverpool to comfortably beat a team like that. And he called it a very big win, a very huge win for the club. And I thought it's a bit strange to be beating a team that are fighting down second from bottom and you're Liverpool at home and you're saying that's a big win when you had to come back, I think, from top behind or whatever. I think they equalised twice, but I have to remember exactly how it went. But ultimately, it wasn't a cruising performance from them. So, dare I say it, mate, this is probably a very good time to be playing Liverpool. I really do think so. What's your feelings on them this season? Do you think that losing Mane was that big a blow to them?
For me, Mark, I think it's the midfield. They were crying out for some new midfielders. They've got a very aging squad. They've been able to get away with the idea that they need to win this title and they need to win the Champions League. And I just think they've run out of steam at the moment. They needed some fresh faces and they bought fresh faces in the wrong areas. I also think Trent is too protected. I don't understand how people can say it's an agenda when you watch him week in, week out make these defensive mistakes, and it's very clear to see that he just isn't at the level that Liverpool need, and clearly was being very much protected by Van Dijk, who now for whatever reason has not hit the same form that he had previously. But for me it's the midfield. The midfield is the big thing for me. It doesn't seem to work anymore. I think they need some fresh faces. I think they needed a Bellingham in the summer. They didn't try and replace Fabinho because I think he's getting to the end of his career now, as good as he's been. I think Thiago's brilliant. I don't think you need to really change him. But yeah, it's just so many, like a new style of attacking as well. They've gone to a proper number 9, whereas before they sort of had this almost like a centre forward who would sort of drop back and allow Salah and Mane to just sort of do their thing. Now they've got a proper target man number 9. That's a big transition for the club, and it's not really worked out for them. They have hit a good amount of form coming towards the end of the season. They've just hit 2 draws and 2 wins in a row. So arguably they're not playing their worst football, but I think conceding 2 goals against Forest is pretty alarming. I mean, even we weren't able to achieve that feat. We kept a clean sheet against them, and they don't tend to score a lot this season. They're one of the lowest scorers in the league. So this is a game where we could honestly put quite a few past Liverpool if we're going to sit there and attack them. And it's why I'm quite optimistic about it.
Yeah, I agree. When you raise a good point regarding their midfield, Alexander-Arnold now, it's strange. I can't quite understand what's really happened with him. not the best defensively. Always been pretty good going forward and his crossing ability, but his defensive work's always been very questionable. And now they're talking about a role change for him, making him more, bringing him more into a central midfield kind of position or advancing role. I don't know. It's whatever's going on at Liverpool. It's a strange club at the moment. Can't quite work it out. There's certainly a lot of work to do for a team that's been so dominant under Klopp for the last 2 or 3 seasons to suddenly be a team that's, you know, they're not going to get top 4, mate. They're just not going to get it. I know that that's their kind of aim, but looking at the table now, they're way behind. They're like 9 points adrift. I think the other team's got another game in hand over them. They've still got some tough games, Liverpool. You know, they really have. Dare I say, West Ham's probably a tough game for them now. They're looking at thinking this is, you know, they'd probably be quite happy with a point. You know, dare I say it, because of the way we're playing at the moment. You know, so
do you think they were right to stick with Klopp? I mean, they're probably one of the only teams, bar us, that have actually stuck through their manager throughout the tough times. Obviously, Chelsea have gotten rid of their manager twice. Tottenham have gotten rid of their manager. Liverpool have been really struggling this season. Do you think they were right to keep hold of Klopp?
Maybe, because the only argument would be like probably similar to West Ham. Who would you bring in? That's probably my only thing I'd say. I mean, Klopp, I think, is probably like a little bit like Moyes. He's been given more time because of what he's achieved. So he's probably slightly overachieved at Liverpool. They weren't expecting really to win league titles and things and challenge the way they have. So I'm guessing that he's probably got a little bit of credit in the bank, and they've said, I know we're doing bad, but come and look at what he's done. And I feel that's pretty similar to what's happened at West Ham. So that's where I think it is. My gut would be now that they'll give him obviously the rest of the season, and they give him another summer, but he'll be under immense pressure next season. They're going to say, you know, we've got to be in that top 4 mix all season. We can't be down sitting in 10th by October. They won't tolerate it. I imagine that he'll be on his last knockings next season, much like Moyes probably. If Moyes does win the Europa Conference, keeps West Ham up, and then retains his job, you imagine the club will be like, yes, but there is no more relegation battles. You know, if by 6 or 7 games in the season we're bottom of the league, you're gone. So I don't think there'll be much patience for it. So that's my gut feeling with him, because they won't get top 4 this season. So they're only really hunting for European football now, Liverpool, which is a big blow for them. And you consider the fact they won the league not too long ago. They're not in a contention for a top 4 spot. I mean, 7th, they're sitting 7th at the moment, mate. Their rivals for the top 6 are Spurs, who are obviously in free fall at the moment. Aston Villa and Brighton. Villa, you'd probably say, are probably more likely to get the 6th spot at the moment. They're just flying under Emery. So it's a big game for Liverpool, this. Like you've said, they need the points. They are fighting for Europe now. It's coming to the business end of the season. They've got to get a result. So that could arguably be playing to West Ham's hands a little bit. The fact they're going to come out to throw everything at us, because that's what we would prefer. I think it suits us when teams need to win, and you know, we saw it with Arsenal. And actually, if we can just pick them off, because they might commit some bodies forward, we've just shown how good we are on the counter attack, especially with our tails up. So this could work lovely in our favour, this game. Who knows? And it'd be lovely to get one over on Liverpool, of course. On to West Ham, mate. I checked the form table before this video. We're 3rd in the league. We are 3rd on the form table for the last 6 games, which is pretty amazing. I think Liverpool are 6th or 7th, something like that, in the form table. So, like you say, they're not in bad form either. But that's pretty good going, isn't it, for West Ham to be in that kind of position?
For West Ham, yeah, it's pretty good going.
Well, it is, isn't it? I mean, we're never really. I mean, you consider the thing where we are in the league table, and considering the fact that this is the time of the season when you are down the bottom or wherever you are, you want to start getting some points together. It's pretty good going to be that high up the table. I think it was Aston Villa possibly a top, but yeah, no, sorry, Liverpool 8th. I've just written down Liverpool 8th from the form table. The only thing I would say about West Ham in this one is, which is concerning me slightly, is burning out now. We've played so many games of football with pretty much a pretty solid team, you know, regular players playing these games, Declan Rice especially, Jared Bowen, Antonio. You're starting to look at these players thinking, we've got to be very careful here. We don't want to burn these players out, especially with Europa League coming up soon. We don't want to pick up any injuries. So I think we've got to be a little bit careful. And I don't believe it's any injuries, mate. From what I understand, we've come out of another game with no real concerns. So it looks like we're going to have another full strength squad apart from
Scamacca.
Which isn't too bad. I actually don't think Scamacca's injury is the worst thing that could happen to the club. I no disrespect to him, but he's he hasn't really played much this season. When he had early in the season, looked great. He's actually, I think he's like our 4th top scorer this season. So he still, he showed that he did have quite an impact when he played, but he never really got going. He's had this constant knee injury for quite some time now. A part of me actually just feels that it'd be good to draw a line under his season for him, come back fresh and go again next season. So it probably isn't the worst thing in the world to have him out now. And let's be honest, we've got Antonio who's playing really well. Ings is looking pretty sharp. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Team, mate, what's your team for the Liverpool game? Any big changes come to mind?
Honestly, I would say the same team that was fielded against Bournemouth, but I'd probably like Flynn Downs in for Souček. And I know that's harsh because Souček had a very good game. But I just think in a game like this where we can honestly dominate, I think we dominate Liverpool's midfield, having someone like Flynn Downs on the ball, that extra cover for Declan Rice, someone who's good in possession, someone's going to move the ball quickly, I feel like would be really, really positive for us. But no, don't change a winning team. I think we played really well against Bournemouth and Arsenal. I see no reason to change the personnel. So yeah, I would literally just go for the same team that played against Bournemouth.
Okay, so what you go, Fabianski goal, yeah? So
Fabianski in goal. I believe it was Creswell, Soufal, Zuma, and Kehrer. I think Kehrer was.
No, it was McGurd.
It was Agerd.
I'm similar to you. I'm going to go with Fabianski in goal. I'm going to go Soufal, Creswell, and I'm going to say I want Kehrer to start this game and rest one of the other defenders and Zuma. However, I'd probably play Zuma, and if we are comfortably winning, I'd probably want to change him at some point. I'd probably bring on Ogbonna just to mix it up a little bit, just to try and keep these players a bit fresh. But ultimately, a pretty similar back line because Kehrer was very good against Arsenal. I thought he was really good. That's who I would go for. Who's your midfield then, mate? Are you going with Rice and Paqueta? I'll take it.
Yeah, Rice Paqueta. For me, I would honestly choose Downs in this game, or even Fornals. I think the way Fornals is playing at the moment, he could slot into that midfield. But slightly harsh on Souček. But yeah, I probably would be going for Downs in this one.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not too. I've gone for Rice and Paqueta. I've gone Souček to start, which I wouldn't have said that a long while ago, but I actually would start with Souček this one. But I've put a note on that. I would want Downs to be introduced into the game at some stage if we are in a comfortable position, possibly even for Rice, just to rest him up a little bit, just to give him a little bit of a break because he has played a lot of football. And then on my wing, I'm having Bowen and Cornet actually for this game. I thought Ben Rama was pretty poor against Brentford actually. Very wasteful.
I don't think he's clinical enough, to be honest, Cornet. I'm not convinced on him at the moment. I'd rather have Fornals there than Cornet if you're going to go down that route of going against Ben Rama. I don't think Cornet's clinical enough. I don't think he's come back from injury strong enough. The issue
we've got with Cornet though is that we need other options. We need a player to be saying to the manager, you can rest Antonio, you can rest Bowen when you need to. I can come in and do a job. I think the problem is we're not really giving him that chance to do that. He's only coming in and playing little cameos. It'd be quite nice for him to be given a game to say, look, this is your chance now. We've got, as we said earlier, we've got 10 games of the season left in all competitions. We need you to be a bit of a pivotal player now to drop in and give players a bit of a break and start, knocking on the door for a starting role. And I think at the moment, just playing these odd little 10 minutes is probably not going to be enough for him. So hence why Ben Rama's frustrating, isn't he? Because he's such a good player, but it's weird. It's like when we're playing badly, he plays really well. He's the one light in the team, and you kind of go, "Oh, look at Ben Rama. He should be starting every week. Look how great he is." And then the second we start playing well, he suddenly just drops off and looks really average. His deliveries are terrible. He gives the ball away all the time, and you're thinking, why is it now you're suddenly dropping in form? Like when everyone's around you is now picking up. This should be the time that you're joining the wave of going, this is it, brilliant. It's really frustrating, but it always seems to be the way with him. That's my argument only for Cornet. I understand what you're saying, but we do need to get some rotation in these players because I'm worried about Bowen. Like he's such a good player, but he's playing so much football and he runs his socks off in every game. I'm getting to the point of thinking he must be exhausted because we've got this game on Wednesday and then we play again Saturday morning or Saturday after 12. So it's a big turnaround. It's going to be tough, but it is what it is. But yeah, okay, fair enough. So you're saying that Corner, what would you say then? Sorry, was you saying Ben Rama ahead of him?
I mean, I would say Ben Rama, but I was saying if you wouldn't go for Ben Rama, you've got to go Fornals in my books.
Fornals, yeah. Okay, fine. Fine, I understand. I've put forward as I want him to be introduced, and up front I've gone Antonio, just because I think we need to get at Liverpool, and he's in good form at the moment. He was really good again. Yeah, he was actually quite unfortunate not to be in the top three. I think with our pickings today, he was really good. But again, another player I'm getting a little bit concerned about now. All these games, I think, oh god, we can't keep expecting him to keep playing every other day and running 90 minutes. It's probably going to kill him. So Danny Ings, I'd like to see introduced at some stage, or possibly even Cornet. Maybe that would be the option to make. This is what the case. If I was Cornet, saying, look, put me on as a striker, and he's got a serious amount of pace. The only thing with Cornet though, he's always offside. I'm noticing every time we go forward, if there's a player's offside, it's Cornet. I mean, his goal was all that, wasn't it, for offside? Again, he's not very good at reading the line at all. But yeah, that's my team anyway, mate. What are your predictions for this one?
There's a number of scorelines going through my head, mate. I could see us getting thumped 4-0. I could see us winning 4-0. See it being like a draw. Literally, I've no idea. But my gut feeling is under the lights, West Ham at the London Stadium. I think it's going to be a 2-1 West Ham.
2-1, yeah?
2-1.
Good. Yeah, no, I'm not too far away from you, mate. I've gone 2-0. I think West Ham will beat them. I just think we're in too good a form at the moment. I just think, like you said, under the floodlights, everyone's going to be absolutely buzzing after the Bournemouth result, after the Arsenal game, and after the Ghent result. I just think everyone's going to be really chomping at the bit to get out there. And I don't think Liverpool will be looking forward to this at all. If I was Liverpool, this is not the game that they need at the moment. Playing an informed West Ham under the floodlights midweek is just not ideal for them at all. And they just look vulnerable to me. They look like a team that's soft, got a bit of a soft underbelly all of a sudden. Liverpool, I think if you can get at them, get a goal, they'll crumble. And that's what I think. I've got a feeling it's going to be 2-0, which is good, mate. I mean, who would have thought that me and you were predicting West Ham victories over Liverpool this season? What's gone on?
Yeah, what a crazy end of the season, mate. I mean, the negativity is just expelled from our bodies. Potential for one video at least, for one video.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll give it a week and we're back to normal.